Alright, so hi again, and in this next example we're going to do one of the more powerful features this infrastructure have, and that's the ability to use alphalens, another Quantopian project, with the pipeline and factors and this entire research environment. So we're going to do exactly that. So let's just search for it. Where is it? Alphalens example. I'm just going to start right now by installing alphalens first, because we did not install it yet. Now I fixed a small bug in it, so I'm going to install it again directly from GitHub, but from a fork that I've created, and I will show it to you right now. So let's do it together. So this is my repository. I've just added some fixes ahead of the master branch of Quantopians. So I'm just going to copy it, just like that, and let's stop Jupyter and pip install directly from GitHub, and hopefully it will work as smooth as expected. I'm going to pause and continue once it ends. So we've got it running and installed, and now we're going to do exactly the same thing in a new notebook. So let's make sure that we could import alphalens and create a new notebook. Let's use this one. Okay, let's go. So alphalens example. And again, we are going to just copy everything from the documentation. In this example, we're going to create a simple factor. And what does it do? Yearly returns. So yeah, here it is right here. A very simple factor that calculates yearly returns from the close price, a daily close price, and using the sector data from the zipline-trader sector, and it doesn't even do any filtering. So pretty quiet. It's a very simple factor, and yeah, let's just run the example and see what we get. So very simple. To get started, you just copy paste from the documentation, and let's make sure that the date, because we of course did not ingest from 2015, so let's go from 2020 till 2021, and I'm thinking February should probably work, hopefully. Let's see. So here's the engine, here's the factor, that's the pipeline, so far looks good. And now let's execute the pipeline and see if we get data. And we don't, because the start date, right, let me fix that. Okay, so basically it failed because of dates. Now in the example that I've made, I only ingested 3 symbols, and I think maybe a year worth of data. So it is going to fail because 3 things in the example. The example is running on a 5-year data bundle, and that's of course not the case right now. So we just need to fix that. just to make sure everything works smoothly, right? It's not for research purposes. So first thing that we need to fix is the pipeline start date. I'm just going to give it just the start date and not trying to, play around with the dates and data. And we need to change this because the 28th of February is not a trading day. I executed and saw that. And the last thing, well, it's a yearly returns, right? But we don't have that much data. So we are just going to do 30-day returns. And I'm not going to change the names, but once you ingest the data properly and you build like, a standalone research environment, you can do whatever you want. But the purpose of this tutorial is just to show you how you could make everything work together, right? Put everything together to see that it works. So let's just do these modifications and see what's up. And once I run that, I actually get data from the factor. Not surprising, the only equities inside are Tesla, Google, and Apple, because these are the stocks that we used in the data ingestion process. But yeah, let's go. So next, we want to be able to run it inside alphalens. So we need to do the next steps. Okay, so alphalens requires a very specific data type. So we need to build it, and we're going to use get, clean, factor, and forward returns to do that. And to do that, we need the prices that supports the structures that we are using. So we are just going to use get pricing, just like that. And then we are starting to work with alphalens. So importing it works fine, and it was installed as expected. And the factor data looks good. Well, here we just dropped 1.5% of our entries, and here we dropped 52%. But a reminder, we are just running on a very limited data set, so it makes sense that some of it or most of it will not be fine, but we just want to see that everything works together, right? That the moving parts, that they are working. So let's go. Let's see if we have factor data. And looks good, right? This is the structure of it. I'm not going to go inside on how everything works. I may do a different alphalens tutorial, like to really go deep inside. But this is a zipline-trader tutorial to make sure that everything works. So it relies on the fact that you know what is Pifolio and you know what is alphalens. And if you need more instructions, more tutorials, so leave it in the comments and I will make those as well. So the last part basically is creating a tier sheet. There are several tier sheets available, right? But we're just going to run it and see that it works, and we can get sections, the sector data, and that will be that. So let's do it. And that looks good. Alright, so in this tutorial series we've installed zipline-trader in a fresh Python 3.6 environment, virtual environment, and we set everything up, ingested data from a free provider, Alpaca, and used daily data to ingest 3 equities. Then we ran a backtest and created a research environment. ran inside the pipeline, a backtest, used PyFolio, used alphalens, and that's pretty much it. So this is the entire platform of zipline-trader. This is what it provides you, the user, and with free data. And basically I did the entire setup from nothing on a Windows machine with Python 3.6 and installed everything with you in this tutorial series. So hopefully you will be able to do exactly the same thing locally and take it from there, right? Because you can do many things. Think about the algorithms that you can check and based on that. I guess the last part would be to take an algorithm and connect it to a real live account, right? So I think it's going to be like another feature series in the future. But that's it for now. I hope it was helpful. Give me some comments in the section below if you want me to do more tutorials like that. So thank you and goodbye.